The No Nonsense Roundtable. It's a weekly show broadcast on Rochester, New York's 50,000-watt iHeart radio station, News Radio Wham 1180. The host, Dom Geneva, interviews guests from all walks of life, all with amazing stories to tell. What you are about to hear is a recording of a previous broadcast without the breaks and commercials. Now, here's host Dom Geneva.
Well, welcome everybody to a special edition of the No Nonsense Roundtable. This happens once every 150 years or so. Deb, what is this?
I feel like it happens every Saturday, Dom.
Why? Yeah. Well, we have a special show. So our show is about the Eclipse, and my first guest today is somebody who is an expert at this. You've been doing this for a long time. We had an interview with Deb Ross. It was about a month ago.
I think it was in February. It was in February.
And she knows everything about this. It's really amazing. And some of the things that you touched on were really extraordinary. But before we go into that, I'm going to introduce you because you're the Rochester Eclipse Task Force chair, manager, grand poobah.
That's it.
Everything. You are the glue.
I'm glue.
You are the glue.
I'm the glue.
That is holding the whole thing together.
Really, it's more like gluing people together so that when we celebrate what they're doing, they're all doing it together, and it makes it even that much more fun.
Gluing people together for the sake of science and progress. I like that.
Ooh, I like that too. It's now my tagline.
Well, the other thing I want to mention, because I like buttering up my guests, is that I get more guests this way, is by, most people know, a lot of people know you by the kids out and about. We're not going to make a big commercial about this, but a lot of, when I say Deb Ross, they go, oh, kids out and about. And that's really kind of cool. So that's like your second job, your first job or whatever.
My first job, my first love. Well, you can't love one of your children more than another. So that was my current job, which will go on after all of this Eclipse stuff, right?
No, you can't tell your children you love one more than the other. I mean, I never thought I was my mom's favorite, but I probably was. only boy in the family. So it's getting down to you can't cancel this time.
Yeah, we never could cancel this, Dom. Yeah. This was always going to happen. We've known for hundreds of years that at 3:20 p.m. on Monday, April 8th, here in Western New York, we would be plunged into the beautiful, mysterious twilight of a total solar eclipse for 3 minutes and 38 seconds in downtown Rochester. Well,
one of the things you said on the show, you said a couple of things on the show that really, really, really impressed me. And one is that you said when you see it, you're going to be in awe and you're going to remember this for the rest of your life.
Yep.
And because you saw this once before.
Mm-hmm. It only takes once.
Yep.
And you're hooked.
Yeah. And the other thing that I think is really important is you said you have to plan what your experience is going to be.
It's the most important thing today, yeah. 2 days out. Absolutely. So are you going to have a Eclipse experience where you're with hundreds or thousands of people all bonded together in your community under the sun, screaming and crying and just being together? Or is what you prefer not a crowded experience? Instead, do you want to be bonded with the universe and a couple of people next to you? Maybe it's in your backyard. Maybe it's in a field or on a hike. It's up to you how you get to design this. So today is definitely the day to decide where you're going to be for totality.
Well, and one of the things, we have other guests coming on the show in a little while, and one is from the Genesee Country Museum and Village, and they have a real great presentation there. But also they have stuff after the eclipse. So it's like, now we got something to do. We have some time. We don't want to get on the road. And the same thing with the Rochester Museum and Science Center.
Yeah, pretty much everybody's doing that. It's all part of our Take Tuesday 2 campaign, which is mostly to extend after totality what's happening there on the ground. Because what we want to try to do is to stem the flow of traffic. We know from the 2017 eclipse that once totality is done, psychologically, people are kind of done, but they weren't prepared for that in 2017. And so there was this mass exodus from everywhere that people had gathered. But we know now what happened. So everybody who's making one of those Eclipse experience is creating activities and continuing the fun for post-totality. And people know that now, so they're prepared to stay, and that will help.
Well, I got to give you credit for that, because you've been purporting that for quite a while, and I wasn't aware of that. That's absolutely right. You got to plan this, because there is no do-overs.
Nope, we get our chance. On the other hand, I mean, like, it's gonna be sunny, it looks like.
Yeah,
and so what that means is that we're going to be on the upper end of the scale of people flooding into our area today, tomorrow, and Monday too, because we are easily drivable from major metropolitan areas. The eclipse, the totality is not until 3:20 p.m. So you get up at 5 a.m. and hit the road from Long Island. You're here in plenty of time, at least we hope.
I can see that. I can see that it might be cloudy someplace, maybe 50 or 60 miles from here, or someplace else, and people are going to be migrating to.
Yep, they're going to chase the clouds.
Chase the clouds.
Yeah, they will.
Exactly right. So your job kind of officially is over with this eclipse, and we were talking before the show that maybe the lunar eclipses really don't they
don't merit the same kind of tourism. Let me just say.
Well, and they're at night, which is another problem.
Yeah.
But you have plans after this to take a little time off?
I am actually going to Brazil on Tuesday, and I'll be there for a music festival through the weekend, and then I will come back and take a deep breath. But honestly, and some of your other guests may say this, it almost feels like the world will end on April 8th, because we've been planning for this for so long and not really making a ton of substantive plans for after that. We just need to take a deep breath, tell the stories, and then keep the memories, keep the swag, and get on with the future here.
That's right. And there's plenty of places that you can go and you can watch. And I think we're going to have something here on my property, and invite some friends and whatever.
Some food?
Yeah, some food and some adult beverages and whatever, and celebrate.
Excellent. Yes.
And you know what? The thing about Rochester is that when you have a clear day, it's a celebration no matter what.
You could say that. This is just a really, really special one. And I'm so glad that, I've spent the last 7 years telling myself it doesn't matter. It could be cloudy. It could be rainy. It could be, it'll be fine. It'll be dark. But the prospect of the actual spectacle is just, I think my heart started beating like really, really fast right then. So we will all see what we're like, sort of bonded under our moon and sun, and just, I can't wait to hear what you make of this, Dom. Yeah.
Well, and this is, like I said, it's going to be a memorable thing, and everybody should just take advantage of it, enjoy, have a memory of it, and write it down, take some pictures of yourself while you're together. And with that, thank you for coming in again. You have obviously been doing a marvelous job. Everybody is so excited about what's going on.
Thank you.
And we're glad to have you in, and
Thanks.
we're glad that you do what you do.
Thank you. Well, Rochester has so much to celebrate all the time. This is something particularly special, but, you have me back, and we'll talk about a lot of things that are happening around here.
Yeah, I'm happy to do so.
Thank you.
Well, enjoy the darkness.
Oh, you too. Embrace the dark, Dom.
Embrace the dark. This portion of the show is brought to you by Martinizing Dry Cleaners in Fairport. During COVID days, I discovered a dry cleaner that would pick up and deliver. I discovered Martinizing in Fairport. I later discovered that the owner, Todd, was an ex-corporate employee who went on to start his own business just like I did, and his customer service is beyond compare. Google rating, 4.9 with 143 reviews, 4.9. Call 425-4242 or martinizing.com/Fairport. This is Dom for my friends at Jack Greco Furniture. You drive your car, you live with your furniture. That's why Nina and I buy our furniture locally from Jack Greco. Hey, lots of old name manufacturers of furniture switch to mass production, producing their furniture, well, who knows where. Why settle for that? Jack has quality pieces made by true craftsmen, and if you need a custom piece, Jack can happily do that. End of the season's upon us. Jack has quality outdoor furniture you won't find anywhere else. Go to jackgreco.com for more info. Well, up on the show next, we have Paige Engard, who is the Director of Communications for the Genesee Country Village and Museum. If you've never been to the Genesee Country Village and Museum, it's a wonderful place to go, no matter whether there's an eclipse or not. So, Paige,
absolutely.
So, Paige, welcome to the show. I had Deb Ross, who is the coordinator. I guess she's the head of, they call it a task force for the eclipse, which makes it sound like she has actually military behind her or something like that. But the task force. But she was making a really good point when I interviewed her on the show a little while back, and she said that it's important for you to plan where you're going to be watching the eclipse, because she goes, it could be very intimate, but you and one loved person, or you could be like Times Square where you want to be among a lot of different people. It could be a place that's very interesting, like the Genesee Country Museum, Village Museum. And I think that, that pretty sets you up for a softball question. There you go. So tell us tell us what Monday's going to be like and what you have going on, and why people should put you on their short list of places to go.
Absolutely. And I love that Deb has been sharing that, because what better place to see history happen than a living history museum, right?
Right.
So what's so neat about, we're calling it the Solar Spectacle here at Genesee Country Village and Museum in Mumford. Not only are we in the path of totality here, but we have an expansive 600-acre campus that encompasses our living history village, our gallery, our nature center, and just beautiful grounds where people can really have that, Deb likes to call it the me eclipse experience, where you could enjoy the eclipse standing beside a team of oxen and see how they react. Or you could have the we eclipse experience and be out on our beautiful Great Meadow experiencing the eclipse with an excitable crowd. We have a lot of really exciting programming coming up on Monday, totality, tasty food and drink, live music. It's going to be a great day.
So let's talk about the thing near to my heart. You just talked about food and drink.
Oh, yes.
So what do you have going on, food and drink?
Yeah, sure. So people that know and love Genesee Country Village know that we love our historical treats. So not only our restaurants and our pubs are going to be opened with our historical craft beer and with all the great normal food that we traditionally have, we're also going to have all sorts of 19th century celestial themed treats from our historic confectionery. So we're talking beautifully handcrafted Springerly cookies, black and white hand pies, all sorts of things that in the 19th century folks would have been enjoying, but all with a little bit of a celestial twist.
Well, I'm a little bit of a marketing guy, and I have to say that there are a couple of things that would compel me to go to the Genesee Country Village and Museum. I got to make sure I say that properly. One is that it's close; it's easy to get to. Two is that you have plenty of parking, so it's not like you're going to be out off on the side of the road looking at this in a cornfield.
Yes, indeed.
The visibility is great. I mean, it's not like you're stuck downtown and you're looking past buildings or something like that. And
Absolutely.
I think the other thing to do that Deb has said is that people's tendency when they watch the eclipse is that once it's over, they're like, okay, let's get out of here. Let's go. And you get on the road and you drive someplace. However, if you're at a place like yours, there's things to do and hang around and enjoy it after the thing is over, before it happens, and then after it's over, you can spend time there, and you don't have to get on the road and beat the traffic to get home. And I think that's a big reason why a lot of people should consider going to your place.
Absolutely, yes. Our pubs will remain open. Music will kick back off in our Eclipse Festival tent. Programming will continue. There's every reason to stay and really make it a really great, memorable day. And I love that you brought up the parking, because not only are we limiting the number of people that we're going to have on site on this day, so that it's a very, it's not a crazed experience like you might see elsewhere, but we're just far enough outside of Rochester and Buffalo that you're going to hopefully avoid that in and out of the city traffic. We also have less light pollution. So when the moon eclipses the sun and we get that peek into the night sky, we're really going to be able to see it out here.
That's a very, very good point. Now, how do people get tickets for this?
Sure. So folks that want to join us on Monday can learn more about the festival and purchase their tickets online at gcv.org. And of course, I have to mention, it's not just Monday that we're celebrating totality out here. We have our Solar Spectacle Festival that's kicking off on Friday from 10 to 3 and will run on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday leading up to the eclipse. So even if you have somewhere that you already have to be for Monday or an exciting Monday eclipse plan in the works, you can still come out and get excited about that eclipse hype at our festival leading up.
Well, Paige, thanks for coming on the show. It gives people something to think about. And give me that website again.
You bet. It is gcv.org. Head over there to learn more about the Solar Spectacle Festival.
And like I said, no matter what the time or day of the week or year, the GCV is a great place to go and spend time with your family.
Absolutely.
My girls and I would go there with Nita for all ages, and we've always loved the place. So thank you ever so much for being on the show, and well, we'll see you on Monday.
Sounds great. Thanks for having me.
This is Don from Fanatics Pub and Blue Stage. A short scoot down 390, 10 minutes south of the Marketplace Mall to exit 10. Make a left at the light, 2 more lights, and you're there. Today, Jim Shelley hosts the band Grosh. Tomorrow, the High Jivers. Monday, he has an after-eclipse show with Steve West on the patio from 3:30 to 6:30. Curly Taylor and the Zydeco Trouble will be there Thursday, April 11th. And Friday, Professor Louie and the Chromatics will be there. Phew, get your tickets at fanaticspub.com. This is Dom with your weekend Red Wings report. Today, the Red Wings 105 first pitch with the Lehigh Valley Space Pigs. I love saying that. Tomorrow, 105 with the Lehigh Valley Space Pigs. And then on Monday, they have their Solar Palooza from 12 to 5. 12 o'clock is going to be very light. It's going to get dark around 3:20, and then it's going to get light again. You got a lot of stuff to do over there, and then you're going to get tired to go home. But you're going to have a good day. Go. Well, welcome back. We're having our show about the upcoming solar eclipse. It's only the day after tomorrow. You have to remember that. And some of this has to do with, of course, well, science. So right now we have on the show with us Dan Schneiderman, who is with the Rochester Museum and Science Center. And Dan, you have been with the Science Center since how long?
Officially in this position since 2021 as the Eclipse Partnership Coordinator. My entire job is just the Eclipse, at least until April 9th.
and that's got to be a fascinating thing. So before we get into actually what you're doing over there, how did you interview for this? I mean, how do they pick somebody that is specifically going to coordinate activities for the Eclipse?
It started back in 2019 where I had met the new president of the museum. We had run into each other a couple times, gotten to initially know each other. I've been running science and art and maker-based events here in Rochester since 2014, even a little bit before that. And at the first public stakeholder meeting, I may have come in a little hot, reading 3 different books, white papers, watching documentaries, and like raising my hand way too often, that she ended up pulling me aside and saying, hey, we're thinking about this position. Once we get it funded, would you be interested? And that kind of kicked this whole thing off.
It sounds like fun, and there's no redos on this. You have to have this planned ahead of time, and it's not going to happen again in our lifetime. So you got to get it right. So you're really confident everything is all set up the way you want?
Feeling pretty good. If I could schedule the clouds, I would have done that. But we're going to get whatever weather we're going to get.
Yeah, well, there's going to be a lot of people praying for sunny skies. Now, what do you have going on? What can we tell people? It's Saturday. It's the day after tomorrow. What do they need to know? And where can you bring us mentally on this thing?
So we've officially kicked off our Rock the Eclipse Festival today. We're going, today, tomorrow, and of course on Eclipse Day. We have tons of speakers, community exhibitors, lots of space-themed activities. We are doing planetarium shows every half hour. Our Singing Tesla Coils are doing Eclipse-themed songs every hour. Yes, we do play Total Eclipse of the Heart. There's food trucks. And then, of course, on the day of the eclipse, we're doing a massive stage show. We'll have telescopes available for viewing. We have an astronaut and in attendance, and we're going to count everyone down into totality so that we can all cheer and experience this once-in-a-lifetime moment in our own backyard together.
So it sounds like you have stuff before, during, and after the eclipse, because one thing that people have said is that when the eclipse is over, you need something to do or someplace to go, because there's going to be a little bit of traffic, a few people are going to be trying to get out of town really quick. But you have stuff after the eclipse too, right?
Yeah,
that day.
Right after totality, we're going to do a quick science experiment, possibly with liquid nitrogen, because we love liquid nitrogen, and why not? And then we're going to have Dylan Marlowe on stage performing for everyone.
And what is Dylan Marlowe do? I'm unfamiliar.
Dylan Marlowe is an up-and-coming country singer. We partnered with WBE. We wanted to basically finish up totality with a massive bang.
And the thing about this liquid nitrogen, I am not a great student of science, but that's like where you put an orange in this nitrogen and you take it out and it shatters because it's so cold. Is that what that liquid nitrogen thing is, or am I mistaken? Yeah,
we can do other things with it as well. We can make some explosions happen.
That's great for the kids. That's great for the kids.
Kids, adults, we're all kids at heart for this.
So how do people get tickets or get involved with this?
You can get your tickets online ahead of time at rmsc.org, or you can honestly just stop by and pick them up. Our entire outside area is going to be completely free, along with the main stage. If you're looking for a way to get here, we have a shuttle that not only goes by 2 parking garages in the RMSC, but it also hits up the George Eastman Museum, the Memorial Art Gallery, the Strong National Museum of Play, and on Monday, we'll add in the public market for their viewing event as well. So you can party hop with the eclipse.
Wow, that's a great idea. Well, Dan Schneiderman from the Rochester Museum and Science Center, thank you for what you're doing. It sounds like an awful lot of fun. Now, what do you go do on April 9th? You go plan for the next solar eclipse, or what are you doing after that? What are you doing after
I'm
that?
probably going to sleep for a long time.
Yeah, totally understandable. Well, thank you for enlightening us, and we'll see you on Monday. Thanks.
Happy eclipse viewing.
Happy eclipse viewing to you too. I have with me in my studio today Dr. Rajeev Ramchandran. Is that close enough?
Yeah, getting better.
Getting better at it. We've been practicing this now for about, a half an hour, and I haven't gotten it down quite yet. But my apologies for the pronunciation. But the good doctor is a ophthalmologist surgeon, and he has some advice for us for the upcoming solar eclipse. And I'm just going to let you have it. Go ahead.
Sure. So it's important to protect your eyes. So as a retina specialist, I know the back of the eye is very sensitive. The retina is like film in your camera, if you all remember film from Eastman Kodak days. And you only get one per life. So just like your skin gets burnt with intense sunlight, the retina can get burnt with intense sunlight. And that burning can be permanent, just like you get a scar on your skin. But unlike a scar on the skin that looks disfigured and may not do much else damage, their scarring in the eye, especially in the center part of the eye, in the macula and the fovea, the center area of your vision, can lead to permanent blindness in that region and make you not functioning in for your eyes and hurt your vision. So it's really important to protect your eyes, and when the solar eclipse comes, wear proper protection, and that includes solar eclipse glasses. That is specialized solar glasses, not your UV glasses or anything else, sunglasses that you have, and this special International Safety Organization standard ISO 12312-2. That number is very important because on all of these safety solar glasses that you see, that number should be there to protect your eyes. And remember, when you use binoculars, telescopes, or cameras, when you're trying to look through those viewfinders, those devices concentrate light and they can cause light to burn through your eclipse glasses. So those devices need to be protected too with proper solar filtration in order to have a safe experience of viewing the eclipse.
Well, the other point that somebody made the other day, and I think it's absolutely true, is that there's going to be a lot of fakes on Amazon.com or whatever. So, let's repeat that number again.
It's ISO 12312-2. That is the ISO standard, and that is the standard for these glasses that you should be looking at.
And I have to tell you, I got mine from a place called B&H. I have no association with them, but they are a photo place in New York City. I think that you're well served to get the glasses early so you can check them out, make sure it has that ISO rating on the back of it. And what else do we need to know? I'll tell you one thing. I right now, being a dad, as I'm sure you are, you have to take a look at your kids and how old your kids are. When you tell your kids, don't look at something, a lot of times they look at it.
That's true. You have to be a good role model for your children and everybody around you. So wear your glasses first, just like in the airlines. You put your oxygen mask first. Wear your glasses first. Look away from the sun when you put your glasses on. Don't be looking at the sun and put your glasses on. And serve as a good role model for your younger children and the people around you. You may have to put these glasses on and tape them to their head or to have elastic band or something to keep them on, because I know kids will start taking them on and off. And remember, when you look through these glasses, you can't see anything else. The sun is the only thing you can see, the sunlight. So if you do try these glasses on before the eclipse, take a look at on a sunny day at the sun with these glasses on, and you will be able to see kind of what you're seeing during the eclipse.
We'll be right back after this. This is Dom from our good friends at the McClurg Auto Group in Perry. I called on probably 450 dealers when I was a Chrysler rep. I was always impressed with dealerships where the dealer himself cared about his customers, gave you a great deal, and was there if you needed him. John McClurg is one of those guys. You're closer than you think to a great no-nonsense deal. It's right in front of you. McClurgChevy.com or McClurgChryslerDodgeJeep.com. Visit them today. Well, next on the show, we have Mike Cidoni, who is the Public Relations and Communications Manager for the Rochester Philharmonic Orchestra. I mean, what an asset the RPO is, Mike. Just a jewel of an organization for Rochester.
Yeah, it really is. It was one of the reasons I came home exactly a year ago, and I was working for the Associated Press as their entertainment producer, the chief one in Los Angeles. You can imagine what that job was like. So it was at the Oscars and stuff. But then I got this offer to come. I'm from Rochester, so offer to come home and promote this organization that I've loved since I was about 3 years old. And it really is an honor. The place is so community oriented. It gives back in kind, and it's sort of nice to have that be, one of your final movements professionally. And so it's truly an honor and a joy to go to work there, especially right now, because on Sunday, the 7th of April, we are coming upon what even historians are saying will be the sort of biggest, most lavish Rochester Philharmonic Orchestra presentation ever. And it even has a really long title. It is called RPO Eclipse Spectacular: a Symphonic Celebration. It precedes the total solar eclipse by about 15, 16 hours. And it's a distinctly Rochesterian production. You've got your RPO, people who are from here or moved here. And most of our special guest soloists are from Rochester, which is really amazing. We've got the RPO Click Spectacular Community Choir performing, which has actually just been formed for this. And we have Push Physical Theater in Rochester City Ballet, and we have Madrigalia Festival Chorus. And everybody's just great and strong, which is not surprising given the strength of arts in Rochester. To be able to collaborate with these folks is great. The one group that is from out of town, oddly enough, is from my old hometown, Los Angeles, and it's called Troupe Vertigo. Very Cirque du Soleil-ish, but really even more athletic if that's possible. And so you've got the RPO playing all these spacey type things, everything from theme from 2001, and you've got Holst the Planets, and pretty much anything you can think of that's spacey or space themed. And then you have all this craziness around it. It's sort of like watching the movie version of Moulin Rouge. I don't know if you remember the Nicole Kidman film, but there's just things that are almost pelted at you, and it's you're going to be taking a lot in this 2 hours. Trust me.
And it's not at the Kodak Hall at the Eastman Theater, which is where most of your presentations are. It's at the Blue Cross Arena. I mean, you're talking about tons of people.
Yeah, Blue Cross Arena, I think, can fit about 12, but the way that we have set this up, we've sort of cut the back of it off, and the stage is sort of in the center of where we watch the Amherst play. And so it cuts off about 5,000 seats. So we have about 8,000 seat capacity. We just got the good news that we've passed, I think, around 77,000. And the curve is going up because we're getting close to sale date, which doesn't always happen, by the way. But people are coming in from out of town, and a lot of folks have waited. And the good news is that even though we're close to sold out, there really is not a bad house in this venue for this theater. So even if you waited to the last minute to buy tickets, they're really affordable. They start at $27 plus service charge, and I don't think they go up to more than like 60. But the deal is that you're in for a treat, and I recommend you join us on Sunday night.
Well, tomorrow night, 7:00, and how do people get tickets? Is it Ticketmaster, or is there a special website for this?
They can go to Ticketmaster.com, or they can go to RPOEclipse.com, and both places they'll get you what you need, and you get your little electronic ticket, and boom, you're inside.
And there are tickets left. The tickets are very reasonable. I took a look just this morning, and it probably will be sold out. So if you guys want to get tickets, want to go someplace really great tomorrow night at 7:00, there it is. Mike, thanks for being on the show, and I'm going to have you on again for like an hour on the RPO. I mean, the history and the magnificence of the place, magnificence of the organization is really fantastic. Mike, thanks for being on the show.
Well, thanks for having me, and we'll see you at, I don't know what it is, 2:00 to 3:00 somewhere, and then we won't see you. All the best.
Well taken. Thank you. Bye-bye. Well, like I promised everybody, we have the wonderful meteorologist Kevin Williams on the phone right now. Kevin, I have to tell you, after all the years I've been in Rochester, I think that your voice and your forecasts have become some of the most popular that I can imagine. And I know you're taking time out of your day today to give us our forecast, and we're looking at what's happening on Monday with the solar eclipse, and then I know right now you're doing some research and whatever about an earthquake in New York, of all things.
What a time to live it, right? Right down. We just had a snowstorm that delivered more snow in parts of Vermont than they've had all winter. Okay, and then we have an earthquake. My sister calls me from Long Island. It was almost a 5 magnitude. Her house was shaking. I'm thinking, what? And we have an eclipse, and I'm also tracking locusts on radar right now. So it's, it's a busy time. It's a busy time.
Yeah. When you get to the civilization-ending meteor, put me on speed dial for that. So what is your I guess your prediction prognostication? However they say that. What do you see in your crystal ball for Monday?
Well, in situations like this, I like to kind of break it down. What do we feel confident we know, and what is a little less confidence in? So what we're pretty confident in is that we're finally going to scour out all of this low-level moisture that has resulted in the day after day of gray, the rain, the snow, and so I have high confidence that come eclipse time Monday afternoon, in western New York at least, there'll be no low cloud coverage and no precipitation. And that's key because 3 out of every 4 April 8ths in Rochester and the local area tend to be either overcast or mostly cloudy. So we're fighting climatology, we're fighting statistics, we're fighting history, and it looks like those two elements that are often occurring this time of year, as we've seen in recent days, will not be in play. So we can rule them out, I do believe. The issue will be a deck of higher clouds associated with a pretty fast jet stream coming in out of the heartland. And Dom, I do think there's a better than 50-50 chance that there will be some middle and high clouds in the afternoon of the 8th. And what does that mean? Well, it's difficult at this point to define with great specificity the density or the location of any high cloud bands. These high clouds may be like very high cirrus that are basically transparent. It could be a little bit lower. Instead of maybe 20,000 feet, they could be 10 or 12,000 feet, a little bit thicker, and they could become opaque. So that would mean a little frustration for those who want to safely watch the eclipse or photograph it, of course, always with the proper safer tools. And so that's a tougher call, to be honest with you. The models are kind of wavering on where these, filaments of high clouds will be. So bottom line is, I'm confident we'll have a good opportunity to witness this. The question is, will it be optimal or just marginal? And that I can't answer because I don't know how those high clouds will be. Just a few scattered cirrus, then we are golden. But if they're a little lower, a little bit thicker, then it might be a little bit touch and go as far as the opaqueness of those clouds. We'll still experience, all of the darkness and the birds going to roost and all that cool stuff. It's just, will we be able to see the night sky at 3:23 in the afternoon where the planets and the stars come out, or will the high clouds kind of mute that? And that's just not something I can call yet with great specificity.
Well, this compels a question that I have is that, everybody these days are on their smartphones and they can get the radar, whether it's, Weather Channel or Weather Bug or whatever it is. So, and maybe you don't know the answer to this question, but would this compel somebody to say, well, we're in Honey Eye Falls and it's cloudy here, but it's not cloudy in Elmira, so everybody, let's get in our cars and go to Elmira, where there's, where it's perfectly sunny. Then you're going to have these people that are like migrating during the day, right?
That's a concern, and I don't know how to figure that. Now, Elmira, by the way, is not going to be in the zone of totality, but they'll have a partial eclipse. But you raised a good point, though. People can make a last-minute decision. They can't fly to Dallas, where there'll be totality, or the Blue Hill, Missouri, where there'll be totality, but they might want to go to, make a quick drive up to Watertown or to Erie, based on that. And so that's a big question, what will the traffic situation be? And certainly, you can find sources that help you at least see, where the clouds are and how they're tracking, on a short-term basis. So that's something it'd be very interesting to see. Will our roads be clogged? Will people, if Buffalo or Syracuse are more viable options, will there be traffic jams on the thruway? I don't know. I guess there could be. Hopefully you won't have to deal with that stress, but at this point we're kind of going to have to wait another day or two before we can fine-tune the part of those high clouds. But yeah, I could see people making a last-minute decision, hopefully carefully assessing and not driving crazily to get to a better vantage point.
Did you ever see the movie It's a Mad, 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 Mad World? That's
I know of it.
That's what I envision. It's going to either be comical or tragical. If is that a word? Tragical. If that happens,
works for me.
Works for me. Kevin?
I think. Yeah. First of all, it's going to be a great opportunity. It's for Rochester, it's really for many of us once in a lifetime, and hopefully the weather will work out. It's a big deal. Things get hyped a lot these days, and I think this one's even been overhyped on some national platforms. But it's a big deal, and I hope everybody can safely enjoy it and appreciate it and remember it.
Well, thank you for enlightening us on some place we could have been in the dark. Oh, I had to do that.
My pleasure, my friend. Thank you.
Talk to you. Thank you.
Thanks for listening. Tune in every weekend from 10 to 11. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll make more.